Kia ora koutou. We will resume the Community Committee meeting. So we finished with questions on item 15, which was the summary of community funding allocations. So I will now move that recommendation that we receive the memo entitled Summary of Community Funding Allocations 24 to 25, and I will look to Councillor Hancock to second it, and I will open up for any comments. Councillor Bowen.
I know I had a comment. I wrote it down several hours ago. I really appreciate and value this report, Steph. I think it is great that we bring it all together in one place. I recognise, in answer to questions, you reminded us that there are different reports that talk to specific elements of the funding, but for me there is real value in being able to see it all spread out in front of us, to see the scope and the scale of our community investment. I did make, in my questions, a request about comparability of how we assess the success or the return on that investment, and particularly where we have funds where part of the criteria is about economic impact. And that gets reported really clearly in some of our funds. Sports Events Partnership would be a fabulous example of that. And you'll know from when that comes through the chamber, elected members are always very excited about the return on that investment. But I think the same could be said for other funds, and we maybe don't make as much of a meal of it ourselves as partner organisations like Sport Manawatu do for their Sports Events Partnership Fund. So thank you for the report. Appreciate there's a lot of work goes into pulling all of that information together and a huge amount of work into administering all of those funds. But the value to our community is immense, and the more we can do to show the value of that investment, the better. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hancock.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. I just found my notes for the comments which I wish to make, actually. And on a similar vein to Councillor Bowen, there's a couple of things. One is that the investment that we put into this actually unlocks community potential to support the wider well-being of our community. And of course that flows on to economic and social benefits for everybody. And I think it's also worth noting that this also unlocks our voluntary sector. And of course we've got 1,121 volunteers, countless hours, and of course that's improving our civic engagement. So it's a really, really good investment, $3 million. I think the returns are quite significant. So I just really want to make that comment, and thanks, Steph, for the report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Yes, and I'll add my thanks. It is a very useful report because I think the value of it is in seeing everything together. It gives a full picture of how we're supporting community through various targeted funds. I did note, though, that the requests have gone up significantly and nearly every fund is significantly oversubscribed. And that, I think, reflects the wider funding environment at the moment where government funds have been reduced and there's increased competition for trust funds and sort of community funds. And some organisations I know are really struggling. And so I think that it kind of gives us a sign really of the importance of the council money that we put into community organisations. Often that's what enables them to apply to other organisations. In terms of the Small Grants Fund, it's what enables them to cover their admin costs when many of them are not able to put in applications for admin. And so I think the relatively small amount of council money that goes into each organisation, I concede it's a lot when you add it all up, but to each organisation, as Councillor Hancock said, unlocks further investment. It unlocks money from government, from community providers. It also contributes to the unpaid contribution of volunteers. So I think the amount of impact that we get from that funding is huge. And if we were doing all those services ourselves, there's no way we could do it for that amount of money. So, the support and effort of the community development team is really appreciated by those organisations. not only the funding, but the fact that they've got, a team of experts to support them, advise them, point them in the right direction if funding from council isn't available. I think all of those things contribute to the success, really, of the community sector in Palmerston North. So it's a great report. It's great to see what's been achieved, and I'm very pleased to receive it. Thank you. So with that, we will go to vote. Thank you. And that is carried, 6 votes for and none against. 6. Who didn't vote? 1, 2, 3. Oh, there was only 6 of us, yeah. Okay, that's good. No one else can leave. Right, let's move on to last but by no means least, the City Library Annual Report. And so I'll invite Linda and Shannon up to present that, please. Welcome and thank you for your patience. Just make sure you've got a microphone that's turned on. Yeah, cool.
Well, tēnā koutou katoa, everybody. It has been a long day. Madam Chair, councillors, thank you for taking the time to let us present to you today. Really appreciate it. My name is Linda Moore. I'm the manager of the City Library, and this is Shannon Simpson, the team leader, business and technical support. Well, 24-25 was another great year, but it came with some familiar challenges for us around systems, including our network, facilities maintenance and capacity. But despite these challenges, our active membership is growing. We now have 29,236 active members, those who have used their membership in the last 12 months. We're retaining these library members, and we're continuing to see increases in physical visits and resource use across the City Library. This is continuing. In the past month, July 2025, 49,690 people visited the City Library locations, a 17.5% increase on July last year. We also hosted 21,600 Wi-Fi and PC sessions, an 18.6% increase on July last year. The City Library report summarises our year. We have a presentation to take you through, and we also have a video to end with. So this year we focus on areas that we could influence and we could have an impact with. We're a key part of the social infrastructure of the city. Our work sits under the City Library Plan and the Heritage Plan. Our key aim is to enable equitable access to all the City Library offers. The final point on this slide is quite challenging for us to do at the moment in our current spaces and their current conditions, but we attempt to maximise all of our spaces to provide our community with a welcoming space where they can come and enjoy all that we offer. Our generation of library users is really important to us actually, and we thought that we'd just try and show where our focus sort of gets to go over this life cycle. We start off in the early years where someone comes into the library, often with a caregiver. That person could be anybody. We can't assume that it's a nuclear family these days. We help support active learning across all stages and ages. We then hope to help grow active citizens. This is a way that people can engage with the city in a way that best suits them at their time of life. We then support active caregiving, whether that is looking after someone younger than yourself or someone older. And we strive to support active ageing as people move into the final stages of their life, whatever that looks like for them. Our people are our greatest strength. The way the library comes to life is through our people. We wanted to just focus on a few things that we highlighted in our report. Connection's really important to us. We partnered with 51 groups and organisations to generate outreach projects to meet community need. We started the Star 2 library service in the Palmerston North Hospital. It's a first for the region. We brought the Virtual Reality Museum to New Zealand, the first time it was seen here. And our home service is really important. We anticipate a huge growth in need here, both to service our ageing community and also in the volunteers that will need to support us to do that. Collections and reading are at the heart of what we do. Our collections are diverse across many formats and at the heart of who we are. We're an active partner in the Interloan service, and we wanted to highlight that belonging to that service, which has national and international partners, allows our library members to access over 16 million books through their membership. We are highly used in this partnership. Lots of other libraries choose to use our collections to provide this choice to their community. We partnered and collaborated with 109 community and strategic partners to deliver 2,725 lifelong learning programs with 63,634 attendees. Our children's reading programs are highly valued, and we're at the top of the list for many publishers and writers for author and book events and to bring them to Palmerston North. We're a trusted point of access for information for recreation, leisure, learning and research. We started RAD, the first in Manawatu, which is Recycle a Device Club. It's now of huge value to rangatahi and is part of a thriving ecosystem, which we've explained more in our report. Our content creation continues to grow in relevance and reach, and we're very, very grateful to partner with NPR to support us in this as we move more into capturing what our community wants to capture as their own generated content. No longer a library is just about content consumption. The community is also helping us create new and diverse content for future readers, researchers, and historians. We're one of the kaitiaki of the city's heritage. Manawatu heritage is widely used and valued, and actually this thing has taken on a life of its own for us. It's outstripping our capacity to keep up in a lot of ways, but we're doing the best that we can with that. Now in Year 3, Local History Week and the Heritage Month synergy continues to grow in depth, scale and reach through partnerships and collaborations. And for those of you that often see me on George Street, it's wrangling people on the street and talking them into doing something with us over the cost of a cup of coffee. I'm very grateful for our community to lean into supporting us to do that. We're very excited to partner with the National Library to digitise the next 30 years of our Manawatu newspapers. This will take us right through to 1975, and it's going to be an amazing resource for our community. Helping our community build resilience is another key factor that we really focus on. It's about learning the how, what and where, and it continues to grow, excuse the pun, because most of what we featured here is around Kai Resilience and our seed library. Our seed library has been absolutely, I don't know what you say, amazing uptake by the community, as long as they're not noxious weeds or plants that we shouldn't be planting in Palmerston North. We're getting a really good flow of donated seeds that are coming in, and we're looking to partner potentially with King Seeds or Egmont Seeds in a community capacity to be able to get more of those coming into our community. Our community morning teas are really important out in our community libraries. We've heard from lots of people that they're a way that they can foster social connection, particularly after a change in life or stage of life circumstances. They're really important for people to engage in and connect and give them a place to actually come and meet elected members, have a good conversation, and actually grow their roots into a new suburb. Prosper, our volunteers, what can I say? They're a key part of our library whānau, and we value them greatly. And that'll be part of our journey in the next few years, is to make sure that we have enough library volunteers that can add a huge amount of value to the work that we do and what the community needs us to do. Te Pai Oranga, I wanted to take a quote from Paul Patel, who made these observations to a TPO panel in 2022. Te Pai Oranga is less intimidating than court, is available to all ethnicities, every person has a chance to introduce themselves, and participants and victims all contribute to the outcome. We've partnered with the TPO iwi community panel in Palmerston North for a number of years, and we've significantly helped them increase their capacity by providing a safe and welcoming place for people to come and get themselves through that journey of getting themselves back on the road, the correct path before they hit the justice system. We also looked at trying to develop a bit of a balanced scorecard for ourselves. What we did that was really above the national average, what our strengths were, what our areas of improvement could be, and this has come back from feedback, benchmarking, surveys, and just having conversations with our community. So we've got a number of things there that we want to focus on improving. One of those is our library management system, which is currently in the QBR to be developed this year and to go potentially up for an RFP next year. It's time to do that. It's been delayed for a number of years and we're really needing to move into a modern library system that allows us to manage our collections, increase our circulation and engage with our community. Enabling good lives is really critical for us. I don't know if any of you have dove into the stats yet, but we have a much higher than average people in our community that have barriers to active participation. It's going to be critical for us to lean into in our services. Brain health, age-friendly, tweens, digital help sessions. We can probably do a little bit more in that space and we're looking to do some partnerships to do that. And getting the word out about what we offer. I mean, that's something that we're partnering with our communications team and marketing team to do a little bit more of this year. We're also trying to work on ways we can make our library service better, more efficient and more effective. So we looked to do some things that we could do this year. So we extended our Sunday opening hours within our existing resourcing. We looked at how we could spread our hours across the week to better meet the need in the weekend when more people are wanting to use the library. We improved the accessibility for the City Library website and Club Sandwich by using things like contrasting colours for better legibility, adding alt text to images and ensuring screen readers can navigate the site. We worked very tightly with our communications team on this project. We also changed to EDI, which is Electronic Data Interchange, which means that most of our acquisition orders are done directly through an interface and it results in faster, more accurate workflows. But the big thing for us, as we talked about last year, was supporting and developing our team. They are vital for us. They're a key factor in what we can do, how we do it, and how we can deliver great library services to the community. We're in a stage now where it's vital for us to look at succession planning and for ongoing innovation. We undertook a lot of training this year in situational safety and de-escalation, health and safety, mental health, emergency management, privacy, and the whole team completed Dementia Friend training. Some of the team wrote articles, both library and heritage, hosted discussion panels, participated in webinars, and designed lifelong learning programs. Others are studying archival, library or information management papers, including those for Hepuna Maumahara. Professional training included that for intercultural capability, library cataloguing and managing local authority archives. Well, we're at the end of our presentation and we're about to show you a video. We've worked with
pretty much every week, I think. It's one of our favourite places in the city.
Come on!
So our first memory at the library is actually bringing Thomas in when he was a baby. I'm not sure if he could even walk at that stage. We were looking for a range of books to be able to read to him at bedtime.
Hi, good. Can I please borrow these 3?
We didn't want to buy a whole heap of books because we knew he'd outgrow the content and the type of stories. I remember bringing him in, I think everyone thought he was really cute, this little baby getting a library card.
And we got this out partly because I love cats, but also because cats are just interesting.
Probably the biggest part of the memory was just how incredible the staff were. They showed us around, showed us where the books were and things like that, and that started our love of coming to the library.
I can. Good. Can I please get the last stamp?
The library is kind of a second home in the city for us now. I think in terms of why we love it, Thomas would say that he just loves reading and loves books, and obviously the library offers that. But I think a lot of people just think of the library as this big old building that's full of books. It's so much more than that. There's so many programs on offer, activities, things during the holidays, after school, and Thomas just wants to come to any of those that he can. The staff are amazingly knowledgeable and very generous sharing that knowledge, and I think those are the things that just keep us coming back. So we're probably not in Blueprint Makerspace quite as often as the library, but maybe that's our third home in the city then, because we're there often as well. Thomas is on a first name basis with all the staff there, and he's made so many projects. The space is just an incredible resource for the city. It gives them access to so much technology and
yes,
knowledge
please.
that I don't have, we wouldn't be able to share as a family otherwise. Another program that Thomas is a regular at is called LibLab, and that's a bit of a mix of some science with some craft and some humour and things from the staff as well. Again, the kids that attend seem to really love it. I think a couple of Thomas's favourite things would have been paper helicopters that they made.
I made a paper helicopter. Let's see if it works. Yes!
I think that access to all of these programs and activities through the library has really fostered Thomas's creativity and increased his knowledge in such a wide range of areas. The staff that share their knowledge and the resources that are available are just things that he wouldn't get access to otherwise.
I love most probably getting out all the books and reading them all.
Thomas has a real desire for knowledge, and that's the books in the library and all the resources have really helped with that as well. In addition to learning through the books, it also links into his daily life or his activities that he's doing as well. I think for Thomas, the library to him is just a safe and special place. When he was little, we encouraged him to go up to the counter and ask questions himself of the librarians, and it was probably the first place that he did that, and he felt really comfortable with the staff, and his confidence and independence grew through that as well. And for us, seeing that as parents is just incredible. So if you haven't been to the library, or you haven't been for a while, or you don't come very often, I'd really encourage you to come along. The staff are amazing. They'll greet you as you walk in the door, and they'll help you with any questions you have. If a little toddler can go and ask questions of the librarians and get great answers and great help to the point where he wants to come back pretty much every day, then that's a sure sign that it's a welcoming and friendly space in the community.
Bye. See you in a few days. Probably tomorrow.
We absolutely love the Palmerston North City Library. It's an incredible space in the city, and we love spending time here.
Come on.
Thank you. That's the end of our presentation.
Thank you very much, Linda and Shannon. That was lovely. I think we all enjoyed the video. There are a few questions, so we'll let people ask those first. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Chair, and kia ora koutou. Thank you both. Just a couple questions. Towards the end of your presentation, you had a reference to the glamour sector. I'm familiar with the glam sector, but what's glamour?
Galleries, libraries, archives, museums, marae, iwi and records.
Okay, excellent. Got the last three there. Just wanted to ask about the value calculator that was in the appendix, and that you gave some examples in the report. Do you end up using that to kind of look at an average user type scenario too, and kind of understand the value proposition that an average user gets or the average resident, or is it just used kind of in specific case studies?
We've just started using this to actually show what an active membership may allow you to access.
Yeah.
So I suppose we're really open to what that looks like. So for non-users, they might see that they are spending $260 odd. That is no return on investment for them. But for those that are active members, this is a return on the investment for them. And I think it's allows people to choose what and when they do. For instance, the senior who visits weekly, the library provides them with access to resources and information, but it also allows them access to a social connectivity. We can't measure that. We can't dollarise that.
Yeah.
It was just a new way to potentially show the return on investment that you could get.
Great, thanks. And just wanted to ask about the report itself. Does that end up being published or shared with the public in any way, or what happens to the report itself?
We don't actively share that with the public, I suppose. It comes here, it's publicly available. We shared it with the team this morning. They went through the slides with us as well and saw the second video. I suppose that's something that we could look at doing. We'd need to look at the best way to do that fits with council's goals and aspirations in the space to make sure they're all aligned. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Bowen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Huge fan of your work. But I had a couple of questions which are probably very niche, my particular areas of interest. Off the page continues to go very well in partnership with Massey University. I just wanted to check on kind of the well-being of that partnership.
That partnership is pretty good. We do work hard on our relationships with Massey. So we work very hard with Tom and Gigi in that particular space. So Massey are financial contributors to that program. They also provide the refreshments and the contacts, and they allow us to engage in with the writing community in a different way than we can. We can tend to come in through publishers or published authors, where they can come in through that university lens of creative writing. So it's a very, we have a great relationship with Massey through all of our strands.
That's good. It probably leads me to the next bit, which is about the author talks, which I think that sometimes a bit of confusion in the community about whether it's off the page or it's a library thing. You do great work with getting really great authors in there, but it feels like a different level of service, maybe because you don't have a financial partner for the hospitality side of it. And I wondered if there was an opportunity there to look at partnering with somebody to support the author talks.
Potentially, yes. We don't have a hospitality budget in our budget.
No.
What we do have tends to be spent on our volunteer morning tea.
Yeah.
So that is an opportunity for us. I mean, we go up to Readers and Writers festivals to connect in with publishers and figure that out. And it's at a wider, more diverse level than what Off the Page is. That is a streamlined program for a specific purpose, where we're wanting to encourage authors to come to the city. Yeah, so that's, we can take that under advice. Yeah,
And you're doing a fantastic job. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Councillor Mickelad.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks, Linda and Shannon. Just want to ask a question. I'm not sure if it was covered in your report or I missed it, but I want to talk about the late, the late penalty fees that were removed in terms of like book borrowing and that sort of thing. And the rationale behind it when it was removed was to encourage more people to sort of, feel free to come back into the library and borrow more books without feeling the shame, let's say, of paying fees for late borrowing. What has been the return rate or the uptake in terms of like book borrowing, and since those fees were removed? Have you seen an increase or uptake in literacy or a decrease, or I don't know?
Well, I think it's the circulation has increased, so whether it's physical and digital, so obviously you don't have to return a digital book. We haven't seen any change. Libraries, is actually contrary to what popular belief may be. Every library that has removed late fines does not have the reciprocal growth in lost items. Basically, it's declining every year. So for us, that is significantly declined, and it continues to do so because there's no barriers then for people bringing them back, basically. So if you have a book, you'll get a nice little reminder that's in friendly language saying, Councillor Orphy, you've got a book out and you need to bring it back.
I do.
If there's someone there that has a reserve, you'll get more of a prompt saying, come on, Councillor Orphy, you need to bring it back. And then if you go over a certain period, you will actually get an email that says to you that perhaps you need to bring it back, otherwise you will be charged for that book because it's gone to lost. So that's how it works.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of the questions. So thank you very much for the report, and but more than that, all of the work that you do and coordinating the library space. I think it's absolutely awesome. So well done. So I will move that we receive the report entitled City Library Annual Report 24-25, presented to the Community Committee on the 13th of August 2025. and look for a seconder. Councillor Hancock. I've just got a few comments to make, and really it's hard to do a report of this depth and breadth justice in a few comments, I have to say. You know, as I was reading through it, I just thought, I can't really believe that the library team manages to do all of this. It just, and at that point, there was still like another, 10 or 20 projects to look at. I think it's an incredible range of services, of programs, of facilities, and it's really impressive. And every year I learn about something new that you do that I didn't know about myself, and I thought I would, was a quite well-informed user of the library. I think some of the, the figures that you've given us are just extraordinary, like the 49,000 visits to the library in July. I mean, when you consider, population of Palmerston North, 90-something thousand, that's kind of like more than half the people in Palmerston North came into the library in July, That was all for 10 times here. No, but, I mean, it really is impressive. I tried to make a list of all the things I've used the library for over the last year, and, it's huge. The poetry evenings, multicultural events, writing workshops, the Language Expo, Local History Week, exhibitions. I've been in to use the colour printing, been into Makerspace. I mean, I'd be interested to use the tool to see what the value of just my use of the library would be. I think it would be huge. So, hearty congratulations is all I can say. It's brilliant. And I've really, really appreciated this annual report. I think prior to that, all the library got was a paragraph once a quarter in the performance report, and it did not do justice to the level of work and community building that the library does. So I'm very happy with it. Thank you. Right, other people lining up, I'm sure to heap praises. Councillor Bowen.
Heaping praises, absolutely. I love our library. It was one of my first points of community interaction when I moved to Palmerston North, and it's remained a constant in our family life through this last 20-odd years. To go with the statistical analysis started by the chair, 29,000 active members in the last 12 months. That's a third of the population of Palmerston North. That is quite incredible. And I think what it says to me is that the library is the strongest part of our brand, actually, as Palmerston North City Council. You're a trusted face and voice in our community, and for very good reasons. You've been there through a long time for lots of our people. I was on George Street the other day and I bumped into somebody coming out of the library, somebody I've known a long time. They now have a small child, and they've been in doing one of your early years things, or I don't know, looking at picture books. And we stopped to chat and he said, I still love our library. He has an older family as well. His adult children now live in Auckland. He said, my kids, the adult kids, still talk about Palmerston North Library and find the Auckland libraries sadly lacking by comparison. So you've turned on a generation of readers and learners by the home that they find in our city library, central and the local libraries as well. I think we've heard today in committee about the issues that our senior community is facing around social isolation. It was really heartening to hear solutions already coming in that space from the library, in how you integrate people into new communities or at different life stages, and really provide tools in that space to get better social interaction going on. So I could talk for hours. I'm not going to. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you on behalf of our whole community. You do amazing work.
Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and yes, thank you to the library team and management for continuing to make it such a wonderful space. I won't go on other than to endorse the excellent comments of my colleagues before. What I would dearly love to see is for this annual report to see the light of day. I think that there's still parts of our community that don't necessarily know or appreciate, and just having it so wonderfully summarized and beautifully presented, I'd really, really like to see this available in a digital format at least, so that people who are new to the city or people that are just want to understand the library organization a bit better have that access. Thanks.
Thank you. Sorry, just whispering to the GM about could we do that. Councillor Hancock.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. I've just got a couple of comments, and thanks, Linda and Shannon, for coming in to present the report. I've commented on this before. What an extraordinary range of services that the library provides, and it is just extraordinary. Post-October, sorry, my wife, first of all, she's actually a real fangirl of the library, so she's always there. And post-October, I intend to actually learn to read for leisure again, which has been somewhat missing in the last 6 years. But I guess probably the last point I really want to make is that contained within the report there is, only health and safety compliance has been undertaken for the library, post 2013. It's a building which is, like there are some constraints there. The new term of council post-October, I just urge everybody who does get re-elected on there to think about that, and it is one of the big blocks that has got to be dealt with by this council in the future years. It is going to cost some money, but we're going to have to do it sooner rather than later, I think. Thanks, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Hancock. Right, that brings us to the end of comment, so we will now take the vote to receive the report. And that is carried, 8 votes for and none against. Okay, this brings us on happily to the last item, which is the committee work schedule. So I'll pass to Danelle to see if there's any comment that she wants to make. No, there's no comment to make. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Well, I will move that we receive the work schedule dated August 2025. Seconded Councillor Hancock. Did you want to make a comment, Mr. Mayor? Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As it's our last community meeting, I think we missed thanking some other committee members. I think Rangitane, we didn't do it. So I just want to acknowledge you as Chair. Thank you for really quite a solid 3 years of community. I mean, the community's part of the real social glue of and this committee represents that for the city. So thank you to the officers, thank you Danelle for your work and the administrators as well, and obviously all the committee members, although we're thinning out a little bit. I think we've just got a quorum so today, but which doesn't really reflect the amount of work and depth and breadth that the community committee does. So I thought it was just to acknowledge you and of course your deputy as well. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I was going to thank everybody myself, but since you've done it so beautifully, I don't need to repeat it, but I will just say a word about my deputy, Councillor Hancock. And I will have a lot more to say, Pat, and embarrass you fully when we formally say goodbye to you, but I have really appreciated having Pat as deputy. It has been, I have always known that Pat had my back, was always reliable, coming in with sensible and suggestions, has taken a big share of the workload because Chair of Community is a big job. It requires a lot of liaising with community organisations, and Pat has shouldered that safety side of things completely. Bunnythorpe completely. I mean, the Bunnythorpe community have been delighted with Pat, and that's, he's done extremely well in that regard. So I just say, Pat, you've done a tremendous job as deputy, and I have really appreciated you, and I'll be very sorry to see you go. Also, I'll just thank Nico, and before him, Sina, and Sarah, who's normally sitting in Hannah's seat, and Hannah, and Danelle, and before Danelle, Kerry Lee, who isn't here. Oh. I think Wade wants to be thanked as well. No, but it really is, as chair, it's really good to feel that you have a supportive team behind you. So I have really appreciated that. Thank you. Right, let us vote on the community committee receiving the work schedule, please. That is carried, 8 votes for and none against. Okay, so I'll just do the closing karakia. Kia puta ki te whaio, ki te ao marama, whakamoia kia tina, homee huie taikie. Thank you very much, everyone. You are free to go, and it is not yet 5 o'clock.